My name is Kenneth Collins, and I'm from Long Beach, California, and I'm a Wella Color Charm and Color Professional Design Team member. I want to talk about a little more, fashion color, if you will, yeah? What do you guys call this?
Rose gold.
Woo. What else?
Strawberry.
Looks like your hair. No, right?
That was the goal.
Yeah, so this is very rose gold, a very muted pink, right? To me, this looks like an Instagram filter, right? So this is really fun, and this color was achieved by using Wella Color Tango, as you can see by my awesome display right here. So I have these up if you guys want to come take a picture of the model with her formula. And you guys all have pens?
No.
No. I don't have any. I'm going to try to find you one now.
I have one.
Green level was a 7. All right. And so what we did was we lifted her up using Wella Color Charm, hair-brightener, and 20 volume. We lifted her to about a level 9. So that's like the inside of a banana, right? There's still some warmth in there, and it's not completely blonde, right? There's still some yellow in there. Alright? So that's where you get the gold from, the rose gold. Because if she was a platinum, like a level 10, and we put this on, she would be definitely more violets. Or pastel violets. Does that make sense? But because there was warmth, that's how we achieved that gold. And that's what I love, just really thinking about what your canvas is that you're working on, and then your formulation. Use whatever colors on that hair to help you with your end result. Right? So, my formula for this lovely lady was 10C, which is level 10 cool, right? 9NN, which is a level 9 double neutral or an intense neutral, and then 3V. What was the mixing ratio, kind sir? I'll tell you. I got this commercial break. So, obviously it wasn't mostly 3V, right? So, you guys do grams or ounces. Wait, how do you mix your color? Do you use a scale? Or do you do the old pump and pour? Or do you use a beaker? Alright. I want to challenge everybody here to use a scale from now on. I know it's kind of inconvenient. It's like, where do I even buy a scale? Huh? Where? Really?
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Go to bed. I keep telling these people Sally's, let's get some scales in there, man. But they don't want scales in Sally's.
What is that like?
Oh! Yes! They finally listened to me. They did. That was my crusade of a lifetime. Scales and Sally's. So, let's do grams, yeah? Is that cool with you guys? 30 grams, 10C. 30 grams, 9N. 15 grams, 3V. 30 grams is 1 ounce. So it's, so to make it easier, 2 parts, 2 parts of these, and then 1 part of this. Yeah. So 2 parts 10C, 2 parts 9N, and 1 part 3V. But here's the thing.
2 parts what? 2 parts.
2 parts 10C, 2 parts 9NN, and 1 part 3V. Isn't this pretty? But like I said, we have swatches here. I have some brown swatches and I have some really light swatches. So I want you guys to play with this formula. And do you guys use Wella Color Charm toners, permanent toners, like T18, T11, T14, T25?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those things are so hot right now. They're all over Instagram, all over the internet. Like, we call them the Kardashian toners, because they're everywhere. And they're really great. And I have some really awesome formulas to share with you guys. And hopefully we'll get a chance to swatch this. Know what we're talking about here. You guys like this? Cool? Did you guys get the formula?
Yes.
Sweet.
Also.
Is that pen working?
Yes.
So here's my next model. Right? Everybody likes a red pen. All right. So my next model here, this is a little more complicated. This involves foils, sections. So, but at the same time, it's so easy. It's so easy eye coverage, and you always have that really dark strip in the front because that hair in the front is finer than the rest. It's a texture thing, right? What I recommend to avoid that is just leave out the hairline to the end. Put that on at the very end, or use a half level lighter in the front. Does that make sense? Because it's going to process faster. It's finer. That's why we always check for texture. What is texture?
Different grades of hair.
It's the diameter of the hair shaft. Is it fine, medium, or coarse? This is important. Do you agree? Can I have 2 volunteers, please? Voluntold? Just got voluntold. How about you? You want to come? No? All right. All right. So this is your hair. This is your hair. And you guys are the color. Get over here. I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock, and when I tell them, they're going to start hitting these with dots. Dots, okay? None of this, just dots. And go. We get some timer music. And stop. Step aside. Now, who worked faster? Who was doing more dots? Who worked faster? I think they're about the same. But who's made more progress? What's your name? Wanda. What's your name? Jessica. 10 more seconds on the clock, please. And go. Come on, this side's for Jessica, this side's Wanda. Wanda. And stop. So, let's pretend that every second is a minute. We're 20 minutes into our color process, and blonde is almost done. 10 more seconds, please. Go.
Come on, Jessica. That's it. Oh, just that's
And... All right, thank you very much. You guys can have a seat. Round of applause, please. So, that was 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes. And with Wella Color Tango, you can get full gray coverage in 30 minutes. That's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, most color companies say it takes, 35 to 45. And even with Wella Color Tango, if you have really big hair, you might need that full 45, right? But if it's normal hair, average hair, full gray coverage in 30 minutes. So here we have fine hair after 30 minutes, ready to rinse, right? Here we have big old plump hair after 30 minutes. I'm guessing she needs about 5 to 10 more minutes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Have you guys ever baked a cake? The timer goes off, what do? You get the toothpick, throw it in the cake. If it comes out clean, it's good to go. If it comes out moist, what do? Put it back in. Same thing with hair color. Just because your timer goes off, don't usher your clients to the bowl and rinse it and check it first. Yeah? So, like I said, texture matters. Check out your texture. When you're talking to your client, you're fluffing and you're like, oh, hey, that's your mama. Well, you got your hair too, right? Which was 5B, 5 brown, and 6RN. 6RN and 5B. That's her base color. From there, I took a diamond section. Boom, boom. On the top, diamond section. Yeah, I can do it. I can try. It's a diamond. All right. So, now you can see all those little pops of color, right? Candy back there?
Yeah.
This is a no-no. Never take a doll head off the stand. Don't tell me what you did. Please turn off the camera there. Where's Angie? So from there, what I did was, on each flat side of that or diamond, which there are 4, yeah. So, sections like this. And I did what I like to call a color melt. So within each foil, there's 3 different colors. So remember, she already has her base color on, which is the 5B and the 6RM. And then from there, I feathered in 6RRV, which is 6 double red violet, which is amazing. Right? And then these really beautiful red gold pieces are 7RG and 8R. 7RG and 8R. So a medium blonde red gold and a light blonde red. Medium blonde red gold. And I got creative with these. So some I would feather in the darker color, like at an angle, and then bring in the lighter colors to a point, like a chevron or a check. Yeah? And I did that on each side. And I mixed it up. Sometimes I would melt them horizontal or this way. So I do like, oh, here's my base color, feather in some red gold, and then I do lines, like a barcode of the 2 lighter pieces. Just so visually you're like, where the hell did that color come from? That's beautiful, right? I always like to achieve looks where you can't really see the point of origin of the hair color pieces, especially lighter pieces. To me, it's just really beautiful, right? A lot of dimension, yeah? And that was it. So it's very simple. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So once again, the base color was with 20 volume. The 6RRV is with 20 volume. And then the light pieces were with 30. So the 7RG and the 8R were with 30 volume. And then the rest of the hair was the 6RRV. Does that make sense? You guys get all that down? And then I obviously welcome you guys to come up here and take pictures. And 5 minutes. We got started late. Yes?
What was your starting level?
She was a level 6. Thank you for asking. It's so important. Starting level was a 6. Her hair texture is doll head normal. Okay. T18, T14, or T10, which are these Wella's permanent toners. Are you guys familiar with these?
Yes.
With these alone, on like level 9 or 10 hair, you can achieve that really pretty granny sheet gray. Right? Granny gray. I love gray hair, right? I love it on ladies of all ages. The younger the better, the older the better. And you know what's really cool is like as a hair colorist for years, anytime my clients are like, I'm thinking about letting my gray hair grow out, I'm like, don't do it, you're way too young. But that's just a hair colorist speaking, right? Why would I want her to grow her gray out? I want to make that money. But it's kind of true, but at the same time, not everybody has really beautiful natural white hair growing out. But for those clients that do and enjoy that, we can still offer them color services, right? We can make their white hair even better looking. We can add in hints of violet, hints of pink, yeah? And just make it really shiny. Yeah, some people's white hair turns yellow because of environment, or you know what a lot of that yellow is? That's protein though. The protein in our hair is actually yellow. Yeah. This reminds me of Terminator, T2. Now, so check this out. Write this down. 5 parts, T10, T14, T11, T18, one of my favorites. Who said that? Oh.
T10, T14,
And T11. Let's say 5 parts of that, right? With 1 part, 7R. Permanent hair color. So 5 parts of that to 1 part of this. Double.
You said 18, 14, and 11.
Yeah. Pretty much any of those toners. Any of those toners that's actually
18 or 10?
So mix in 5 parts of that with 1 part of 7R, or 6RV, or 7RG, and you'll get the most beautiful pinks, rose golds, rosés.
Oh, that's a good one.
So, RV or both?
My favorite is 7R, but you can use 6RV.
7RV?
This is 7R.
Developer.
Developer, 20 volume. 20 volume, remember, double developer, right? So if we mixed up 40 grams of T14 and 10 grams of 7R, we're going to be using 100 grams of developer. Now, you can either use 20 volume. Yeah, 20 volume, if the hair can handle it. Because remember, these are permanent toners, right? And usually we're going to be doing this on somebody that's like a level 10 to level 9, right? So sometimes if that hair is a little more fragile, go with the activating lotion, because this is 6 volume. Now when you do this, I always call this like toning, like having food in your broiler. Like don't walk away. Like don't slap it on with the bowl and then go smoke a cigarette, right? Watch it, stick around. Because it can go too dark and you'll get this really pretty light red. But if you're looking for a really pretty pastel medium pink or a rose gold, 5 minutes. It's beautiful. I did have swatches of it, but I can't find them. But I'm going to look for them, and if I see you guys later, I'll be happy to share more with you.
I have a question.
Okay.
Brought me there is that I have a client. She said her daughter was highlights.
Okay.
They turn to colors, and I call everywhere. And my friends and nobody knows that highlights turn colors, just like the nails.
But what do you mean?
That's what I heard.
Okay. Yeah.
How it turns.
So I love that question. Thank you for asking that. But it's so hard to answer because I need to look at it. You know what I mean? It's a very confusing question. Do you have another clue? Somebody had a question?
I wanted to ask you, what colors can we use from Wella to achieve the gray?
The permanent toners.
What
See?
about the 050?
Oh my God!
I always use that one and it's like beautiful.
What's your name?
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome. 050, which is what? It's our cooling violet. 050 and C18, beautiful. Or you can go straight up 050. There it is. 050, write that down. That is amazing. I like to use them both though. I like to use like T18, T14, T11, and 050. Because for me, I feel like the permanent toner is a good base. Like 050 has no level, right? So it'll go on, be beautiful, but it may not last as long as it would if you put it with a good base. Does that make sense? But I'm so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot.
I've been
I have half
doing
out.
so many
Yes.
like
It's always best to find really good light. And just put it in. And if it disappears, then that means you got the mark, right? If you can see the swatch, it's either too light or too dark. But like I said, if it disappears, you're good to go. And I was also checking out her hair, and I came to find out that she has like 4% white hair. 4%. That's crazy, right? The way I like to check for gray, I like to do make like this with my hand, and I set it down, and if I can count the number of white hairs in that, I don't have to worry about the white hair. That means it's less than 10%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you do this and put this on your client's head, and you can count her white hairs, forget about it. But if you can't count them, then you better start formulating for white, for gray coverage, am I right? Cool. So, like I said, this was my Wella Color Charm brown cool model. I used mudslide on her, which is 6 brown cool. So what's a level 6? Light brown, or level 6 is actually dark blonde. I always like to start there. Level 6, dark blonde. Level 7, blonde. Level 5, light brown. Level 4, medium brown. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for me, 6 is always a good starting point. 6 is like dark blonde. 5 is light brown, right?
Yes.
So her natural level was a 5. A very warm 5, right? And so what I used on her roots was 6 BC, straight up. Is I used a fun lightning technique, a balayage technique. But who does balayage here? No? Everybody. If you don't, you better. That's the future. That's where the money's at now. And you know what? Not only that, but for me, it's just so fun to do. It's so intuitive, right? Like I'm excited to do it. When I know I have to do a full weave, I kind of am not that excited. I know it's work, right? I like focus. I'm not going to talk to Paul. I'm going to cut my coils and get to work, right? But with balayage, I just feel like I'm having a lot more fun. I feel more of an artist, if you will. Although, you know, I feel like I'm more of a craftsman than an artist. You know, I think sometimes artistry is like, oh, I'm an artist, right? That's fine. Be artistic, but make sure you're technical. So, like I said, I just took a simple 4 quadrants and I hit that new growth with 6 BC, 20 volume, right? And now this is Wella Color Charm. So, who knows the mixing ratio for Wella Color Charm? Huh? Ooh, I'm here. All kinds of stuff. Who said 1 to 2? Boom! All right, this corner over here. I'm watching. So it's 1 to 2. Whenever you're talking mixing ratios, the first thing is the color. The second is the developer, right? So I heard some people say 2 to 1, which isn't wrong, but it's not right. So it's 1 to 2. Just sort of remember that one. So I mixed 50 grams of 6BC and 100 grams of our 21 developer. And I really like that because for me, I find it to be really economical, right? You don't use as much color, right? Because you're using double the developer. So like I said, I got her base color on. And then, starting from the bottom here, I did what I like to call a color contour. And I know, from here it's like, well, that looks like a band, right? But when you put everything down, what you see is this nice bright accentuation of her cheekbones and her eyes. It's much like makeup. When you contour around your cheekbones to bring out your eyes and your facial structure, right? This is the same concept, but with hair color. And the key thing with this is keeping it within a level or two of the base color, right? And just really having fun. So think of fun patterns like triangles or rectangles, or just like a really feathered shine light. So I took a few sections working up, and I used my Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener with activating lotion. You guys know what the activating lotion is? It's for our demi-permanent. So it's truly a 6 volume. So if you guys are ever want a gentle lift with Wella Color Charm Powder Lightener, I definitely recommend using our activating lotion. Because like I said, this is like a 6 volume. If you want to put a volume on it, it's 6 volume. Yeah? Once again, this is our activating lotion. That's our dedicated demi developer. Yeah? You guys with me?
Yes.
If you're not, better say something. Yeah, we have like 4 minutes left. And then, of course, I left a nice veil out so you don't see like a really harsh line. So when it falls, it's just really pretty, really melted, multi-dimensional, right? And what you see is like, oh wow, look at that lighting. Like she walks around with perfect lighting, right? Because she gets that really pretty shine line right on her cheekbones. Turn, 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 turn. Do the same thing on this side. And what I like to do is, I'll do one going this way, and then the second one, I'll do going the opposite way, just to have fun with it, right? So, another key point with this technique is slight back combing. Slight. I don't want to make a rat's nest or a bird's nest. What I want to do is grab my section and take the fine teeth of my comb. Yeah. And then 1, and 2, and then hit that second section. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm back combing from the roots and then in between my 2 light pieces, and then I can do that however long it goes. I've done this on hair that's like that long. It's beautiful. It's the back. There's nothing back here. Just on the sides, right? So you can do this as much as you want or as subtle as you want, right? And after I had that in, what I did was I just went ahead and combed or ran my color through the ends. 6 BC through the ends, boom. And then this top section that I left out, I ran that through, boom. Shampooed her, towel dry, and then I used Wella Color Charms Demi-Permanent 5N and 7A. A cool neutral level 6, right? To match the rest. But I also wanted it to be slightly lighter, just so you can see different patterns in there, right? So even where I didn't color, it's still slightly different from the rest of the base. Yeah, but once again, I mean, this took me, it was super easy, right? Super fast. I put on the base color, and then I lightened the ends. Of course, I was careful and I didn't put the lightener next to the color, right? You never want lightener to touch color. You guys know that though, right? Yeah. Why? Spotting, and you get what you call color bombs or color blooms. Whenever lightener meets color, there's this crazy chemical reaction, and sometimes what happens is it goes really dark, right? So you just get really inconsistent color. So once again, I made sure to keep my lightener clear away from the rest of the color, okay? And so like I said, her toner was 5N and 7A with our activating lotion in our Demi-Permanent line. Cool? And then I just took a wand, give her these nice curls or waves. And I mean, I think this is beautiful. If you look at her eye color, she has really beautiful hazel eyes, just like mine. I'm not lying. Okay. Hers are too, you gotta check them out. Very elegant, very modern, and very suitable for her. Right? You guys know this word, suitability? I think it's maybe one of the most underutilized words sometimes. We get inspiration from like buildings and bridges and trees and leaves, but I like to get inspiration from my clients, right? What's going to look best on them? That's key. We can do the most beautiful haircut, the most beautiful color, but if it's not meant for that client, what was it all for, right? All right. Have a seat. Yes, please.